And I have with me in the studio to make sense to all of this, a publisher of Scroll News, Janet Mba Afolabi. She is here, as well as social commentator Olakomi Amu Onidundu. It's good to see both of you in the studio.
Good morning.
Thank you. Right, let's begin with the Nation newspaper this morning. No server for PDP Atiku to check, INEC tells Tribunal. An APC Buhari urged panel to reject PDP candidate's request. You find that on the Nation newspaper. All right. Daily Sun is the next one now on insecurity. Bloody week in Lake Chad, Niger State. 10 soldiers, 64 insurgents killed, says the multinational Joint Task Force. And bandits kill 70, sack villages, reveals Senator. Okay, I will certainly be talking about this as we get along. Blueprint is our next paper now. INEC to Tribunal. PDP Atiku asking for a server we don't have. Collational results faulty. PDP is saying that. And non-citizen Atiku has no case. APC is saying that. An electoral body records 1,689 litigations. You can find all of that on the front page of the Blueprint. Okay, from the Blueprint, let's go to Vanguard. Vanguard newspaper is focusing on security, and it says, Osun under siege. Governor cries out as Makinde vows to stop kidnapping in Oyo. Bandits go berserk in Niger. Killed 62 in 5 days. Really troubling one there on the front page of the Vanguard. Okay, from there, let's go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust is saying Electoral Act, PIGB, others set to face fresh legislation. All right, Electoral Act, PIGB, others set to face fresh legislation. National Assembly adjourns plenary for office and seat allocations. You'll find all of that on the Daily Trust. Okay, from there, let's go to The Guardian. We have no server for Atiku to inspect, INEC tells Tribunal. And panel reserves ruling on application. Here's motions against PDP petition. You can find all of that on the front page of The Guardian. Okay, let's, gentlemen, let's come to the story on the front page of Daily Sun. We focuses on insecurity. That says a bloody week in Lake Chad, Niger State. 10 soldiers, 64 insurgents killed, says the multinational Joint Task Force, as well as bandits kill 70 sacked villages, reveals Senator. This is quite very troubling. Since Sunday, there was massive attack in Niger State, and it has been continuous that way, with casualties running into almost 100 from the reports we got. Let me start with you, Olakomi. I wonder how troubling this is for you when the new administration is just taking off.
Yeah, it's very troubling, I would say. I would say also that these bandits and hoodlums are very strategic. And how do I mean? You see, when there is a gap in terms of settling down and all that, they know that it's a time when maybe people are not really on the lookout, the security, arrangements are not tight and all that, so they're really catching in and all that. It's been a long time since we had these large numbers of killings and all that. So I would say also, those at the helms of power now, they should be much more strategic. And we should not leave issue of security to the hands of those in power. Security is a personal issue. And we must emphasize this. And we must also look at, enduring issues like, the issue of giving, powers to the state into, to really manage their security issues. Let's break up this police issue, to become, state issues and all that. So a state, handle their own, fortunes in terms of security by themselves.
All right. In one of the first plenary of the House of Reps, one of the issues that emotion was raised was on the issue of security, the security architecture should be looked into to see how it can be a little more proactive. Janet, I wonder whether you consider what Nigerians are saying as to, okay, let us change the security architecture or change the service chiefs and all of that. I wonder if you see solutions from that window.
Changing the security architecture is beyond changing the service chiefs. It's changing the way, the style of attack. It's really taking the attack to the bandits, knowing where they are. Because if you look at it, police know who many of these criminals are, and people in the neighborhood also know. For instance, in Osun, people in that neighborhood between Akpomu, Ikire, along that express where there is that bomb, they already know who are these people operating there. So the local people have organized vigilantes to comb all the forests around there. If they see any presence of life, that is where there is a bush burn or something like a small hut, they will now know that these people are operating there. And the local criminals in that neighborhood are also cashing in on banditry, the rate of banditry, and they're also operating and killing and stealing, shooting people, shooting vehicles, moving vehicles, shoot them. Sometimes it hits the passengers and they die. So the locals of that place are alleging that there is an abattoir along that axis, and it's some of those people working in that abattoir that are involved. It's an allegation that the police may want to look into, go to that place, comb the people around there, investigate what is happening around there, because these people may be cashing in on banditry. They are saying that it's not all the Fulani headsmen that are involved in this. But having said that, it's unfortunate that the thing is now coming southwest, because we used to think that, oh, southwest is safe. If you are traveling by road, you don't have anything to worry until you get to around Lokoja and those axes before you start worrying about kidnapping. But now from Ibadan, you start worrying. If you are going to Abuja, you worry all the way for 9 hours. Your mind is up until you get to Abuja. It's so unfortunate. And if you crime map every state, every region, there is some form of insecurity or the other. Banditry had always been there, right from when I was a reporter in the early 90s, going to Sokoto by road, going to Borno, Maiduguri by road. We knew that there were bandits on the road, but not in this manner. They used to be like 40, come out, block the road, but maybe once in 6 months, once in 3 months. But it has become a daily occurrence now. The village head of a district head in Katsina was abducted, was attacked. So nobody is actually safe. And they go to villages, attack helpless people, innocent people, poor people, kill them, maybe take away what belongs to them. And again, some experts have explained that the banditry may have different faces. There is political angle to it, there is economic angle to it. And there are those that really want to create a situation, a sense of fear, and fear is a weapon of terror. To create fear in Nigerians, a lot of people are afraid they don't want to travel to their homes, to their places anymore. That is what they want to achieve.
A lot of people can't even travel.
They can't.
We've had members of the 8th National Assembly, even on the floor of the House, they will say, I can't go to my village. I can't go back to my places and all of that. Now, Olakomi, he has said that there are so many dimensions to these things. But I wonder to what extent all of these issues of attack, let us create fear and all of that. Some people have expressed the fear that, or have expressed the analysis that it is Boko Haram that is likely
transmitting,
showing faces in other places in other ways, because they have been displaced and decimated in the northeast, so they have to resurface in other places with new identities and new operation and new style of approach.
Well, I don't want to believe or accept that they have been decimated. Still look at what happened at the Lake Chad area. Okay, you just overnight and all that. So it's not a matter of they've been decimated. Maybe, they are even gaining much more confidence and boldness.
You think so?
Yeah, if really nothing conclusive has been done about them. So they are like, the 10 fingers of a leprous man. Coming up with other amorphous, strategies and all that. I want to suggest that, look, a state of emergency concerning the security situation in Nigeria should be declared. The problem with us in Southwest is just akin to a proverb that says, when your neighbor is eating an insect that is strange and you are keeping quiet, you will not sleep at night because of the noise. Okay, and that's what is happening here.
All right.
On the front page of The Nation this morning, no server for PDP Atiku to check INEC tells tribunal. APC Buhari urged panel to reject PDP candidates' request. And to the Daily Sun now, insecurity, bloody week in Lake Chad, Niger State rather. 10 soldiers, 64 insurgents killed, says MNJTF. Bandits kill 70, sack villages, reveals senator. And to the front page of the blueprint, INEC to tribunal, PDP, Atiku asking for server we don't have. Collation of results, 40 PDP. Non-citizen Atiku has no case, APC. Electoral body records 1,689 litigations. And to the front page of the Vanguard, insecurity, Osun on the siege. Governor cries out as Makinde vows to stop kidnapping in Oyo. Bandits go berserk in Niger, kill 62 in 5 days. And on the front page of the Daily Trust, Electoral Act, PIGB, others set to face fresh legislation. National Assembly adjourns plenary for office seat allocations. Well, I will be looking at this story on the front page of the Vanguard, and it says insecurity Osun on the siege. Governor cries out. Initially, when the situation of insecurity began, it was something that was thought to be just a northeast issue, and now it has began to trickle down to other parts of the country, and state governors are crying out. Osun State, the governor is saying it is under siege, especially in the aspect of kidnapping. How worrisome has this become, Janet?
It is really worrisome, and I like that caption that bandits have gone berserk. They're on rampage. They want to take different states. They want to put them under siege. And it takes me back to the days of Anini, when Anini held the entire Benin under siege until the then IG met with Babangida, who was the head of state at that time. And he asked him that, my friend, where is Anini? That was when the IG, Etiminyang, now went into action and made sure that Anini was arrested, because the police knew where Anini was anyway. They knew, but they did not. Some of them were collaborating with him. They didn't want to expose him. So now it's not even an individual, as in those days, holding a place under siege, but group of bandits from northeast, and now they are coming to southwest.
We are not certain if they are the ones coming to the southwest, though.
No, they may be the ones. They may not be the ones. They are spreading. But the news of banditry is spreading across the country. We are hearing it. There is no day that there are no reports on banditry killed, bandits killed so people, hijacked so people, kidnapped so people. And the governor of Osun is crying out. Maybe he needs help. He's saying that his state is under siege. And you know that he's the chief security officer of that state. So he needs to take the security of that state into his hands and say, and help the people who elected him. He has not been elected. He has to protect the people who elected him or did not elect him. In Zamfara State, the new governor also, Matawale, has invited 2 squadrons of mobile policemen. A squadron consists of 4 units, 3 or 4 units of mobile policemen, and a unit is about 50 to 60. So if you multiply that, there'll be about 400 or 480 mobile policemen right now in Zamfara. You know the state of insecurity there. And including, among those squadron, there must be cooks, there must be drivers, and there must be mechanics who...
alongside the
squadron? No, they will be among the mobile men that will be there. You know, some of them have to be the cooks, some will be the drivers, some will be the mechanics.
All right.
And the cost implication of maintaining those mobile, the number 400.
But he gets security votes.
He gets security, so he has to spend it on
so that's what it is.
He has to spend it.
Now, Osun State is crying out. What are your thoughts with regards to this issue?
Thank you. I would say my thoughts first is that if state chief security officer is crying out this way, it portends something
wonder how
very
the people
grave.
feel.
Yes. Okay. It's something that portends a grave situation. Okay. And this is where we emphasize the fact that maybe is also surreptitiously saying that, look, I don't have full power and reins over, security issues, and I'm not given the full complement, of authority also over security in my state. That's what. And this is why, I join voice with those clamoring for restructuring along the side of giving full security matters to the state.
But isn't that already on the front burner already?
It is, but we should hasten issues. A security matter should be, a state of emergency matter. Like, we should hasten issue. We are dilly-dallying on this for too long. I think even the president alluded to this. Yes, in the June 12th.
During his speech.
Yeah, so
he talked about
we
it.
should hasten
He is
issue.
very aware.
Yeah.
But then addressing it is another aspect, because even before the inauguration, he spoke about ensuring that the police will be effective. But according to what we have, how effective can the police be when they get about 24,000 naira quarterly, to address certain issues? How effective can they be? Are we really ready to address this issue?
In terms of, the vote to them, in terms of also psychologically preparing them, the policeman, is he motivated enough? We should look at that. Also, the ratio of police to the crime rate we have here. Now, we have to look at that. It's a total revamping of our policing system. Total revamping of the manpower, in the police, their training and their equipment. If bandits are better equipped than our policemen, also, it doesn't give them confidence to face these people. Then there must be, in security service, and collaborations more and more. Yes, it's an internal matter, but I think, the level at which insecurity is now is a little bit beyond what the police alone can handle. We should deploy our military, to handle this, internal arresting matter.
Deploying the military into internal matters?
Yes, yes.
How about neighborhood watch that the president spoke about, where he said he was even disappointed?
Neighborhood watch can be deployed into this because Osun State is already doing that, not at government level, but at village and community level. They are already asking the vigilantes to comb the forests and see if there are places they will find signs of life or activity, like burning, like building of huts, like sign of movement, maybe footpaths. Then they will know that these kidnappers or bandits are operating around here. So, and I'm sure that these bandits will go a long way because they are on ground, they have their ears on ground, they know the criminals.
That's neighborhood watch.
Not that kind of neighborhood, their own
vigilante.
Local vigilantes.
Yes, local vigilantes that maybe were watching the streets or watching.
But isn't that putting their life on the line because they don't have as sophisticated weapons as these the
Sometimes
bandits?
It's not about weapon. These people have their own way of protecting themselves.
Just intelligential and all
yes.
that, gather information and pass it on to the right people. And all.
Apart from that, some of them, if you shoot them, the gun would not.
Oh, okay, now that's taking it to a spiritual level.
No server for PDP article to check. INEC tells tribunal. APC Buhari urged panel to reject PDP candidates' request. You'll find that on the front page of The Nation. And let's move now to the Daily Sun. On insecurity, bloody week in Lake Chad, Niger State, and 10 soldiers, 64 insurgents killed, says the multinational joint task force. And bandits killed 70 sacked villages, reveals senator. Okay, find that on the front page of the Daily Sun. Let's go now to the blueprint. The blueprint says INEC to tribunal, PDP article asking for server we don't have. Collation of results faulty, PDP saying that. And non-citizen article has no case. APC is saying that. An electoral body records 1,689 litigations. You can find all that on the blueprint. Vanguard is our next paper now, and focusing on insecurity. Osun under siege, governor cries out. As Makinde vows to stop kidnapping in Oyo, bandits go berserk in Niger, kill 62 in 5 days. Troubling one there on the front page of the Vanguard. Let's now go to Daily Trust. Daily Trust says the Electoral Act, PIGB, others set to face fresh legislation. National Assembly adjourns plenary for office seat allocations. Okay, We'll be talking about that shortly on the Daily Trust. The next now is The Guardian. With no service for Article to inspect, INEC tells Tribunal and panel reserves ruling on application. And here's a motion against PDP petition. You can find all that on the front page of The Guardian. All right, gentlemen, let's come to the issue on the front page of the Daily Trust. As says Electoral Act, PIGB, others set to face fresh legislation. A National Assembly adjourns plenary for office seat allocations. Now, the issue of the PIG bill, in fact, it started with the PIB bill and then became PIGB. The controversy has been on for so many years now. Janet, let me start with you on this. I wonder why this issue is so controversial.
PIGB bill is the oldest bill in the House. It's 19 years old. There is controversy on this bill because the bill seeks accountability and transparency in the oil and gas. It seeks to unbundle NNPC. That NNPC, according to some people, is like an octopus. It needs to be unbundled so that there'll be another regulatory body apart from it. They also allege that NNPC is not giving proper accounts because it claims that NNPC account is a different kind of account. So people will not understand. You know, so those
As if it's not a commodity, just like any other thing, like tomatoes or whatever.
Yes, that claim by NNPC is kind of blocking the way to transparency. So that's why the bill has been controversial. And they do not want, some of the experts in the industry is saying that this is what happened to Venezuela. Venezuela was an oil-rich country, but government was a key player. It failed to reform. And so that gave way to corruption, and corruption gave way to the collapse of the economy. And Venezuela, that was very rich, is now having its citizens queuing like refugees to feed.
To buy bread.
To buy bread, to even feed.
Exactly.
You know, so
really
that
terrible.
this bill is really key. And the National Assembly is saying that this is one of the bills they are going to push again. They will look at the observations raised by the president, work on it, and send it back. And it will not go through the public hearing anymore. Like other bills. The PIGB, the Electoral Act bill, and the Constitution Amendment are the three
major
bills that will not go through the public hearing anymore.
Because they have initially gone through that process.
Yes, back and forth.
All right, Olakomi, when it comes to these bills in the front of the National Assembly, do you think these, especially the Electoral Act, the PIGB, and even the Constitution Amendment, do you think this is where the direction of development or the real growth in Nigeria lies?
Well, thank you. The emphasis that the Ninth Assembly places on these three bills, you know, also is quite in sync with, you know, the focus of the Buhari administration regarding to corruption. Don't forget, when there is governance, okay, the issue of corruption will be sustainably handled, you know, at the institution level. Okay, so and why do you think that, look, PIGB, you know, bill is, you know, having a lot of challenges and all that? Because a lot of people, you know, see it as their pot of soup. Oh yes, okay, and they think that we want to take away their pot of soup and all that, and that's why they are saying that the ingredients in their pot of soup are ingredients you can't find in the market, so you can't understand it.
And that pot of soup has been there for a long time.
Yes,
and they've been eating that pot of soup for so many years, and still not satisfied.
It's like any other pot of soup anywhere. So okay. We you know, and what is the secret or sacred thing about cooking beans? Put it on fire. You know, put firewood there and all that, and you know, that's all it. So we want openness, you know, in the petroleum sector.
All right, Janet, let me come back to you on this. The point there is, when it comes to these bills, especially the PIG bill, which a lot of people say is at the heart of, you know, stimulating the economy of Nigeria. What do you think, or how challenging do you think it has been for government? Is it just the will, or there's an inability somewhere different that they couldn't push through with this?
I think the will comes first, because government is a key player in the oil and gas. So the will to unbundled NNPC is the key thing in this. And if this government is able to do that, it will attract foreign investors into our oil and gas, because it will create confidence. Lack of confidence does not attract investment, because nobody wants to put his money
where he's not sure.
Where he's not sure, where he cannot even see, where he cannot even look at the account and understand it, where it is opaque, so to speak. You know, so that is a problem. I think if this bill is eventually passed, it will give way to growth, it will give way to development, and people will not just give out oil licenses to their friends, their cronies, their family members. It will be well-regulated market.
All right, Alokami, I wonder, is this just a Nigerian thing, or it is a global thing? Nigeria is not the only oil-producing country in the world. There's Saudi Arabia, there's the Arabian countries, and even we have Angola in Africa, and we have even Southern American countries, or Southern American countries, and so on. Why is it so different in Nigeria? Why is the Nigerian situation peculiar when it comes to oil production and all of those policies?
The peculiarity, you know, is basically in the area that this is the mainstay. We don't have a diversified economy, you know, again, so to say, you know.
Even though we used to have.
We used to have. We don't have it again. Okay.
Right.
So it seems, you know, just like, you know, she said, the government also is suspicious that, look, if we let go of this power, our whole control, will also be let go and all that. That's one of the reasons for the major challenge with Nigeria. If we have be let go and all that. That's one of the reasons for the major challenge with Nigeria. If we have a diversified economy, okay? In the West and those other countries you've mentioned, basically the trend more is to allow private sector to take charge of this. You know, we
and then create enabling environment.
Yes, for FDIs and all that. Yes, you just
and let the players do
enable
their
environment structures. Monitor well and all that it operates well.
All right, we have to leave you here now. Let's wait to see how things play out in the next dispensation that just started in Nigeria now. Janet Mbao Falabi, thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's my pleasure.
Olakomi, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Right.